You've chosen to forsake your blood relatives. And now you must live with your decision by stepping into a world of pain and anguish. Welcome to Nohr! Intro start. Yo, what's up guys, the Insane Game Freak here to bring you my game review of Fire Emblem Fates. This time, we're doing Conquest Edition. Lord. Now for those who don't know the difference between Birthright and Conquest, the simple difference is that you are doing a different story from a different perspective. In the middle, around chapter 5 or 6, yes, around chapter 5, you were forced to make the decision. Hang with your Hoshido family or hang with your Nohr family. Nohr not being blood related, Hoshido being blood related. Anyways, this is the Nohr path is when you choose to hang out with your siblings, you know, the ones that have been with you since you were a child. The one that actually would make more sense on a logical sort. It's like you've known your Hoshido family for like a few, I think at this point in time maybe like a few days. And then like your Nohr you've known since you were a kid. Though they're the only family you know. So, this game review is, since Birthright really touched on a lot of the game mechanics, and the game mechanics are pretty much shared, I'll be mainly focusing on the characters, the map design, and the story. Now, what this does mean is that I have the unfortunate situation of making a decision of spoiling Nohr's story or not. Now, I didn't spoil Birthright's story, but I will give a general thoughts on it, and there will be a minor spoiler about a certain plot point that happens in Nohr. So if you don't want to know that minor plot point, then don't even bother the review. Because the minor plot point is pretty much what dictates the rest of the story. So anyways, Nohr, you choose your home siblings. You know, the siblings from where you were raised. And as far as story is concerned, Birthright is better. That's not even, to me, that's not even an argument. I don't think anybody who's played Conquest and Birthright will tell you that Birthright has a better, will always tell you Birthright has a better story. Now, what people may also say is that Conquest is more entertaining, but it's also very fucking stupid. And the stupidness of the damn plot revolves around a plot point that will be later explained in Revelations, at least from the part that I've played in Revelations. But in terms of the context of Conquest, it's stupid. Now, Conquest was obviously supposed to be the better game because it had the potential for a premise that was interesting. Think about it. We already know just from trailers and from previews of the game that Nohr's king, King Garen, is the villain. Even in the first 5 chapters, you recognize he's the villain because he's the one who killed your real father, and he's also the one who probably settled the situation that got your mother killed. The point is, Garen is not a good guy, and he's a dick of a king that also locks you in the tower for the majority of your life. Literally, you've been restricted in every way, shape, or form, so it makes no fucking sense to go back to Nohr. Which is one of the reasons why it kind of seemed like a weird choice to begin with, to have this big choice when they were obviously trying to push Nohr as the evil kingdom. Here's the thing, though. Nohr's potential at this point becomes, well, Corrin's character won't change much. So, the only thing that could be happening is that maybe Nohr's trying to plan a revolution on the Nohr side. Corrin's trying to plan a revolution on the Nohr side to overthrow King Garen. That is a cool-ass plotline. That's not what fucking happens, though. And this is the part that's a spoiler, so if you don't want to know, stop. Alright, I'm hoping you're gone, or at least skip for another 5 minutes. There's been hints of it in Hoshido, and there was even hints of it in early chapters of Nohr, that the siblings would always say, well, Garen didn't always used to be this way. He used to be a nice father. You know, he used to be a good guy. It's just that something happened. It's revealed he's been possessed by this demon that they know as Anakos, and Garen has been dead for like a while. What's remaining is this evil Anakos that is going around trying to destroy, you know, pretty much trying to conquer every fucking thing. Essentially, we get into a situation where Corrin and Azura cannot speak of this truth because if they do, they die. That's the rule of the way this shit works. I won't go into the specifics of it because that goes into other plot shit. But the point is, they can't tell the other siblings verbally because they would die. That's literally how the thing goes. If you tell anyone, that's the rule. If you tell anyone this shit, you die. So what do they think? What is their plan for the rest of the game? Well, we heard earlier in the pre-choice chapters that Makoto's, or at least the damn Hoshido throne, has magical properties. Their guess is, well, you know what? We'll just play his little game and conquer Hoshido for him, and as soon as he sits on the throne, we'll have our last laugh because his true form will be revealed to his siblings. Why in the fuck would you have to do this when it's already been shown and your siblings are aware that your father's a dick? He's an evil bastard who, by the way, the kids constantly disobey in their own little way to keep their morality. That's why they keep doing all these little favors for Korn by not killing certain characters. So what in the fuck do you think that you have to do that? You could have just said he's an evil son of a bitch who just runs around fucking up his own kingdom and is starting wars for no goddamn reason, and didn't have that be the premise of the game. Why is the premise of the game now we gotta play the fucking good little even Nohrian prince or princess, depending on what gender you are, just to get him to sit on a throne that he may or may not even sit on? He may just fucking conquer Hoshido and destroy the fucking kingdom. This shit is like based on a whole bunch of what ifs that just happened to fall in line because of video game logic. Realistically, he had no reason why he had to sit on the throne unless he was just so stupid and arrogant and he kept running around saying he was sitting on the throne. And I wouldn't even bank on that. You're banking on the magical properties of a throne to reveal him as the evil demon as you think he is because you think your siblings wouldn't believe you otherwise. He's an evil bastard who treats his kids bad. He has threatened on more than one occasion his children's lives. Hell, he's threatened your own lives. And for some reason they're like, well, all we gotta do is get him to sit on the throne. And I'm just sitting there going, why is that a fucking plot point that exists? That should not be the reason for the point of the game. The reason why it's more interesting is because of the map design and the characters. Because although I think the fucking Nohr's story is stupid as fuck and pointless, that's like some of the best characters and map design in the game. Also, let's do some nitpicky shit with the story real quick. What happened? You know how fucking Hoshido made Elise and Xander more interesting characters through the fucking Hoshido Path 3? So I'm thinking, okay, surely they're going to do something similar for the other characters, right? They're going to do that for the Hoshidan siblings and fucking Nohr. And the only thing we get that's close to that is this kind of cute rivalry going with fucking Hinoka and Camilla, which doesn't even happen frequent enough. It happens like twice. I think once or twice through the game. Takumi is fucking Takumi, because we all blame fucking Takumi. Ryoma is barely even, I think you see Ryoma like twice in the whole game. And Sakura you don't see until like near in-game. And I'm like, oh my god, why is it that fucking Hoshido even did some of the Nohr siblings better than fucking Nohr does the Hoshida siblings, or even the Nohr siblings? Yeah, siblings, that was the right word, I'm stupid. I don't understand that shit. Because even looking at some of the other characters, Korn doesn't crack his little jokes like he does in Hoshido, so that was slightly disappointing. I thought he had some type of character trait. He just seems like that overly, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do, I'll be strong, brother. He's like some Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde shit. He's flipping between like crying like a bitch about everything and being like, oh, it's like, bruh, stop. It's just little shit. Like Nohr is only probably interesting because of its map design. We're just getting to its map design along with its characters. Because and here's the thing, this is the reason why I believe that Nohr has the best characters. Because of Nohr's situation of being in an area full of like death and strife and a bunch of bullshit in the world. a lot of Nohr's characters are either tragic or have issues, and it makes them more interesting to have support conversations with because they're the ones who've been through a whole bunch of shit. Now, fucking Hoshido is a peace-loving nation, so most of the characters are really defined by their gags, whereas their gags in Nohr kind of lead into deep personal problems. To give you an example, Charlotte's introduction to us as a player is that she's like a fucking tomboyish, rough as fuck girl, but she pretends to be like a stereotypical damsel in distress because she wants to marry someone or marry someone rich. She's a fucking gold digger. Well, you find out part of the reasoning behind that is because of her shitty ass childhood. You know, the same thing with Niles. Niles acts like a disgusting masochist, but half of that is a fucking act to kind of get on people's nerves. It's kind of like a defense mechanism because of the bullshit he went through as a child. Being fucking betrayed by his kind of family. Well, he got betrayed by his real family and then got betrayed by his fucking mugger family. And then Leo's the one that picked him off his fucking knees, you know. We got characters like that. Perry, it's the same fucking thing. Perry's whole situation, which was actually surprising as fuck, is that her mother was killed by an evil butler in their family who wanted her all to himself. And so Perry's obsession with killing things comes from the fact that she used to kill all her butlers and maids because she couldn't tell them apart, and she thought that the person who fucking killed her mother was still in there, so she just consistently kept killing them. And her father never taught her any difference, so she just kind of went along doing this shit. It's one of the reasons why people ship Laszlo and Perry so fucking hard. And why Soleil looks so fucking cute with blue hair. God damn. Sorry, it's what I'm gonna do. It's who I am. I gotta do it. I got to. But that's what makes the characters interesting, is that they all been through some shit. And yeah, I get it, you know. There's a higher amount of fan service in fucking Nohr, and there's a higher amount of crazy in fucking Nohr. I mean, your sister's crazy, fucking Charlotte's crazy, Perry's crazy, Niles is fucking crazy, Odin is weird, his daughter is weird, Laszlo's weird, his daughter is weird. They're all fucking weird. It's funny, but it is legitimately true. That's like the whole fucking situation. And but it makes the characters more interesting and fun to use. Just to get on the characters, for example, for a minute, some tops, some ones that are my personal favorite, and you let me know in the comment section. I really grew to like Camilla, which was weird because I didn't think I would like her. I've seen her have a thing lately for girls who are like slightly stalkerish. I don't know what that says about me, nor do I feel like getting into a conversation about that topic. Point is, Camilla's pretty cute, and when you learn more about her through her support conversations, you kind of grow to enjoy her as a character. I like her, I like Soleil, I like Laszlo, I like Perry, I like Benny, I like, fucking Charlotte is bae. Charlotte is fucking bae. Charlotte, I want to just repeat this so the full effect can hit you in the ears. Charlotte is motherfucking bae. Fucking, oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Love Charlotte. Favorite berserker. Throwing axes like a G. Woo! Sorry, I'm weak. I don't give a damn, I'm weak. I don't give a fuck. Nyx, Keaton, Laura, Arthur, fucking, who am I missing? I'm missing a lot more guys, I think. Where are my guys at? Silas, Mozu, which are both in Hoshido, so I guess they kind of don't count. I said Benny. Who the fuck? You know, Xander's fine. Leo's cool. Elise is cool. I feel like I'm missing guys. Like I'm thinking of all the girls on the top of my head. I can't think of any of the guys. I know I'm missing guys because those is way too many little. Oh, Laszlo, Odin, Niles. I'm stupid. The funny thing is because there's like two characters tied to each like sibling, it's kind of easy to remember the retainers because you know Arthur and Effie for Elise, Laszlo and Laszlo and Perry for Xander, Odin and Niles for Leo, Camilla's, Baruka, and Selena. Selena is better than fucking Severa. That is a fact. Move the fuck on. That's life. Just fucking deal with it. Fucking deal with it. Fucking deal with it, son. It's over. It's over. It's funny. I think I got more kids in damn Conquest than I did in Birthright. Ironically enough, I would say I was probably more overpowered in my Hoshido run, but that's getting into the map design and the struggles that you will suffer. If you were someone coming from Awakening and you bought Conquest, turn that shit, go buy Birthright. Because Conquest will kick your ass. Now, someone is me who's already pretty good at RPGs to begin with, even though Awakening, I'd already played Hoshido in Awakening, so I already knew what to expect. Because some of the shit that kind of is slight annoyances in Hoshido will sometimes drive you up a wall. I've seen fucking people who loved Awakening who couldn't get into this game. And there's a few reasons for it. Because for one, this fucking version of the game is not made for you at all, sir. At all. And why is that? Because Conquest is fucking... I wouldn't call it like rage-inducing hard, for me anyway. It's just challenging and difficult. And it's partially due to how the map design works and how some of the gimmicks of the stages are. Like one of the early chapters in the game is they took the ice level, and yes, this version reuses a lot of, it reuses a pretty decent chunk of Hoshido stages, or vice versa, but they flipped them on to interesting ways. Like for example, the wind tribe thing that you do in Hoshido is like this literal wind gimmick map where the wind will blow at the end of a turn. The wind will blow you off into a fucking corner. If you are in the wind's path, you will be blown 5 spaces in whichever direction it's going until you hit like an edge where you can't go any further. And that does mean you will skip over gaps in the middle of the fucking map. That will happen. But if there's no more lane on the other side, then it's just like, nah, we're not gonna do it. So the point is, you also have to plan out your strategies based on the wind, based on whether you want to use the Dragon Fangs or use the wind to your advantage, because the wind can actually get you to cheat fighting certain enemies. You could skip certain enemies and go right to the boss. Although, because of Conquest's whole no just easy way to get money and no easy way to level up situation, because you can't grind at all in Conquest unless you're using DLC maps. This is the game. This is the one you don't want to do that in. Some of the maps have really cool designs. The whole gimmick in Hoshido's was that some of them were ambushes and some villages were just there to give you money and experience, which was a cool twist. Nohr's twist on that is you better hurry the fuck up, because if you don't, those villages will sell you the fuck out. And what I mean by that is that if you don't get to those villages before Nohrian soldiers do, then that's just more enemies for you to fight. And granted, because of Conquest's whole thing about you can't grind in Conquest, part of you is like, well, should I get all the villages, considering that gives me more enemies to fight and more opportunities to grind and level up my characters? Or should I get all my shit so I can get more money to buy better weapons? But my characters are lower level, so they can't take advantage of the better weapons. It becomes a strategy in itself, just based off of the concept of the damn map. Because it's like, and that's one of the first fucking stages you do in the game. It's like, do I run up and get to this village before the enemies pop out? Because if I do, I don't get the experience bonus from fighting the extra enemies, but I get the money. It's a cool fucking concept. And Conquest is a good mix of just seizing shit and then also just dealing with not only seizing, but also dealing with gimmick stages. Like later on, there's another gimmick stage where there's a whole bunch of pots around you. Well, some of the pots have healing shit in it, and some of the pots have poison shit in it. The poison obviously knocking out 10 damage for anyone in the splash range, which is like about a square's worth of damage, a square's worth of space. Or it can heal you if you're in the square's worth of space. Well, because they're so fucking close to each other, it's like you got to make the conscious decision. Do I want to run up and smash this poison pot, knowing it will damage my teammate, but it will knock down the enemy low enough for me to come in there and counterattack? But because I'm right there next to it, I'm also going to take 10 damage, which means I run the risk of dying if I attack him. It's all these cool, little fucking interesting concepts for maps, and it makes everything so fucking interesting, dude. like Conquest has a really cool mix of like just beat the fucking boss to fucking, oh my god, you need to do this specific gimmick. And yes, the infamous chapter 10 for Conquest. It's hard, and I will say this. I was playing it on casual, normal. Just to let you know, I lost units like after a certain, I think like around halfway through the game, I was losing units like every goddamn map. All the way up until like in-game. Which I will ironically say the final boss in Conquest is easier than he is in fucking Hoshido. Which is interesting to me. The harder game has the easier boss. And that's on normal. I find, and I heard people can't stand this boss. I think that kind of all depends on what mode you're playing on. But I played them both on casual and normal, and I had a way more annoying time with fucking the Hoshiden final boss than the Nohr final boss. The Nohr final boss is actually kind of like the Nohr story, kind of fucking disappointing in some aspects. But it led me to, it was one of the things where I appreciated Nohr's difficulty because it made me start thinking more about the game. See, in Fire Emblem Awakening, you didn't really need to care about skills that goddamn much. I mean, they were important and they were useful, but you could get through the game without paying attention to what skills you were getting. Some of you would just get skills that were just fucking good, especially if you're using units like Frederick or Crom or any of those, or fucking Lucina. But in Nohr, Fates is not as, it's kind of a bigger deal because the game isn't so fucking laid out to be easy as fuck for you. And I'm sitting there looking and I'm like, oh, my character has soul. Oh, my character has, Bowbreaker. And then, fucking Midori's ability, that I forget what it's called, but it's essentially you get gold for waiting, but then you also get gold, and then you also get an ability where you can use that gold to kind of, I forget what it is, either like, it doesn't boost you, I think it boosts your attacks, and you can do more damage. It turns Midori into a motherfucking monster, son. It's ridiculous. I fucking love it. Sorry. But it's that kind of map design. So even though a lot of people can't stand Conquest because of its difficulty and its bullshit story, the bullshit story led to interesting maps for me to play on and interesting twists on the same type of map. It just shows me how much creativity the intelligent systems had to make the same map twice and make it unique in both cases. And granted, not every case is a winner. Some maps are complete fucking bullshit, but I would say maybe maybe one or two maps are like that. The majority of the maps in the game are fucking cool as shit. It's ridiculous. So when it comes down to it, if you ask me which would I prefer, Conquest or Birthright, on a personal level, I like both of the games. I probably would say Conquest is probably I prefer Conquest because I like the challenge. And I like the changing up in the gameplay where I'm not constantly just running up and seizing a goddamn area. Which is fine. It's not like it's terrible in Hoshido. And it was fun in Hoshido. Hoshido had interesting gimmicks for its stages too. But I like the constant trying to keep me on my toes. And it feels like a cool limiting. It's like a Nuzlocke. It's like a Nuzlocke of Fire Emblem in that way. Play the bitch on like Classic and Lunatic and try to get through Conquest. It seems like a goddamn a challenge that anybody would want to do because the shit, it's the only thing about it that's rough is the whole changing of how often hits land with the percentage and it being completely reworked. That shit is what will leave some people driving up the fucking walls because that's a fucking gamble. I gotta have an 80% hit rate and still miss my fucking crit and then die to a 1% crit rate. And that's happened. Multiple times. That's like the part, and that's when I start hitting the RNG. See, fucking Hoshido has enough room to where even if you got fucked by the system, it wouldn't completely screw up your run. Whereas Conquest, no, you are fucked, sir. That's not even an argument. You are fucked in some of those situations. Which just tells me to be, which honestly, Conquest just makes you want to play more cautious, which some of the maps you don't have that luxury, so. Yeah, that's Conquest in a nutshell. Better characters. I think it honestly has better map design overall. But it's more so because of how Conquest is structured. Because I can't grind and get extra shit in the background, it makes each map mean more when I play it in terms of experience, in terms of items I get. It makes you want to keep consistently going to rob chests and shit. Because if you don't, you ain't getting no more motherfucking money. I had like 3 or 4 characters who were maxed out that I couldn't even upgrade because I had no more guys. I couldn't buy seals because I was broke. Or I needed to buy weapons. Like, it really made me think, and I appreciate the challenge. That's how I feel. But if you're someone who's going from Awakening, get Hoshido. Get Birthright, then Conquest, and maybe Revelations if you still feel like playing Fire Emblem after all that. Do not start with Conquest if you're going from Awakening, especially if you're relatively new to this type of gameplay. Do not start with Conquest. That's a fucking suicidal decision. You better be at least decently versed in some RPG and tactics-based games before you put your shit in there. Or you're just going to be fucking mad. But I do say Conquest has better story. Has better characters and better maps overall. But its story is so fucking bad. It's almost like I want to throw something at the man. I didn't get as infuriated with it, but objectively, when I look at it, when I was all said and done, I was like, dude, this is a shitty story. Hoshido is just kind of is average all around, whereas Nohr is kind of it excels in its fighting and just fucking fails in its story. But hey, look, that's what the skip button's for, right? Just keep hitting start through all the motherfucking cutscenes. What's the premise of the battle? I didn't even talk about some of the cooler shit, like the fucking... Later on, you get a cool map with the illusions concept and even replicas, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this shit. I'm gonna stop. Charlotte is bae, Nyx is surprisingly bae, Perry is bae, Soleil is bae, she is fucking adorable, Midori is fucking adorable. What's with me around all the girls' names? What the fuck about the boys? Keaton is cool, Keaton's tsundere as fuck. And Valora is kind of weird, but Keaton, which, by the way, Valora was on my squad. I guess if I had to talk about my squad real quick, who I had running around representing, Camilla, Baruka, Corrin, Charlotte, Nyx, Valora. I was using Keaton until I got Valora, and then I didn't care. Ironically enough, Nyx is Valora's mother. Ironically, the guys weren't really doing much for me. Like, Benny could take hits, but he wasn't doing enough damage. The same thing for his son, Ignatius? Yeah, Ignatius. I couldn't find enough heavy-hitting guys at all. Valora, to me, beats her father. It's ridiculous. Arthur and Percy. Percy gets better after I master sealed him, but he was rough for a while. Kana was good, but once again didn't have a master seal, so I couldn't go any further with her. Ophelia was starting to put in some work near late game when I got her. I didn't use that many guys on my squad now that I think about it. I still had guys on my squad, but I wasn't using them as much as you would think. You know, Elise was surprised on getting it in. For a while, I was surprised. Like, there we go, Elise. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. This video's been long enough. This has been the Same Game Freak. That's a game, play to win, and I'll catch you guys later. And next time, we'll get our final revelation. Peace out.